And we're live. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Let's see who we have so far. All right. I see Jeff Warden. Hello, Jeff. You say Sammy Hagar's restaurant, Cabo Wabo Cantina, is amazing. Yes, I have heard of this before. We actually talked about Sammy Hagar while we were there. I think there are 2 Cabo Wabos that are actually in the airport there, but we did not have time to go to them. And I see Bewizzle Aquatics. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. We've got Jimmy. Hey, what time is it for you, Jimmy? I never keep good track of what your time difference is. But yeah, I just got back from Cabo San Lucas. Absolutely amazing. Just a tiny time difference there. So it's just an hour ahead. So it's 4 p.m. there right now. We've got Food Taster TV. I am doing well. Hello. Got Jerry J. Hello. Fuel Me Once. It is 1 a.m. for Jimmy. Wow. Well, thank you for joining. So I haven't done a live stream or I haven't done a challenge or really had like a set program in forever. And I just thought, why not? I'm back from vacation. I'm still relaxing. I don't really feel like doing anything particularly exciting, but I did want to share with you guys. I got this beautiful wine glass. It's the one souvenir that I picked up for myself. Doesn't say anything specifically like Cabo or anything like that, but I thought it was really beautiful. And so I brought it back. And it's going to make our drinks today a little bit fancy. So if you're new to Sunday Funday, sometimes we do this live, sometimes it's pre-recorded, but find a drink. Could be an adult drink, could be a soda, could be water, whatever you like. But stay hydrated. Grab it. We're going to pour that now. I've got a raspberry tea. Truly, these are one of my favorites. So we're going to put it in our new wine glass and make it a little fancy. Let's see, Johan is here. Glad you can make it. I'm glad you can make it too. Let's see how much this can hold. Can it hold the whole can? Oh, look at that, guys. Perfecto. 12 fluid ounces in my new glass. Let's see. Jeff says could be a hurricane. Oh, yes. Are you talking about the drink or the actual hurricane that's coming today? Because yes, there may be a hurricane there today. We left just in time. Hi, 12. Hello. Jeff says with extra rum. Yeah, so I don't know if you're talking about the drink or the actual hurricane or not. Food Taster TV, that tea sounds right up your alley. And guys, I'm using my mic today. I don't always use my mic. Let me know if the audio sounds okay to you. Still experimenting with it. Tom, I'm doing super well. Just got back from vacation. How are you? Fuel Me Once. You just drank pickle juice straight out of the jar. How much did you drink? You have to be careful with that. I once ate an entire jar. I forget the actual size of the jar, but I ate all the pickles, drank all the juice. There's some aftermath to that, so be careful. Fuel Me Once. Jeff says the actual drink. Yeah, I didn't have any hurricanes while I was down there. We did do an all-inclusive resort, so I mostly drank margaritas, mojitos, had a few mimosas, but mostly mojitos and margaritas. And then in the room, we had free minibar service, and that included Mexican Coca-Cola, which has the real sugar, Diet Coke, waters, and then Tecate, both light and heavy. Audio is perfect. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, well, let's get into this. Everyone, if you have a drink with you, salud. That means to your health in Spanish. Sunday Funday has commenced. I love my new glass. It makes everything better. All right. Audio is perfect. Perfect. All right, let's see. Oh, Sam from Samantha Lee's Originals is here. How was the trip? Cheers. It was great, Sam. So that's part of the reason I wanted to go live today, because I'm going to put together, I think maybe, I don't know yet. I have a lot of footage from the trip. It might just be a family video. I might share pieces of it with you all. I'm not sure. But I kind of wanted to vent a little bit. So that's part of the reason I went live today, is because I didn't want to include that in the video because it was such a beautiful vacation and I don't want to diminish any of that. But there were some hiccups, some negatives. And so I just wanted to share with my YouTube family. Hyde12 says, I always thought you were a beer and whiskey girl. Oh, no. Beer, yes. Wine, yes. Whiskey, no. I did do one whiskey review on this channel, so that might be why you think that, but I don't like hard alcohol. That's why when I was in Cabo, I was drinking mixed drinks, because that's how I drink hard alcohol. I have to have it mixed into something. I don't like the taste of it. It tastes like burning. Oh, and Hyde says you missed the song. That's because I haven't sang it yet. We're just waiting on folks, but we have 15 people here, so we might as well sing it, right? Okay. And then I'll take another sip. Ready? Sunday, fun day, better than a Monday. Can only do it one way, and that is the drunk way. And that may happen today. I don't know. I am coming back from vacation at an all-inclusive resort. I was drinking every day, almost all day, for the most part. CB says, glad you made it home safe. Me too. Did I try the Cabo Wabo Cantina? No, we didn't. So like I said, Jeff, there are 2 in the airport. We didn't have time. We just sped out of there. So did not get to eat there. Lone Star is here. Hello. Good to see you. Food Taster says your background reminds me of Trippy Food. Do you know his channel? Yes. You should check it out. Food Taster. Trippy Food and I have done multiple collabs. One of them on this channel where we did the Funyuns flavored Lay's chips, but I've done a bunch of reviews on his channel. Super awesome dude. And yeah, we always joke. We have very similar backgrounds with the bookshelf office vibe. Jeff says the coconut shrimp is awesome at Cabo Wabo. I bet it is. Fuel Me Once says vent away. We're going to get into it. Heartsight, hello. Good to see you. Sam says, can't avoid the hiccups. Wish you could go on vacation. Yes, this was our first destination family vacation. So we've definitely gone on small road trips. We like to go camping a lot. We've gone to see family, but we've never gone anywhere far away just as a family, like our nuclear family. So this was very exciting. My son is 16 now. He's getting ready to leave the house. All things lining up. So I wanted to make sure to take him somewhere really cool internationally before he left. And we were supposed to go to Japan last year, but of course that couldn't happen for obvious reasons. We have no idea when Japan's going to open up again. So I decided, let's go to Cabo. We're all vaccinated. Let's do it. And we did take COVID tests before we came back. You have to do that before you come back to the US, and we're all negative. So all good there. Heat 101's here. Hello, Dark. Good to see you. Hyde, thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, you are my YouTube family for sure. See a lot of people saying hi to each other. Oh, Hef is here. Hello. Cheers to you, Hef. I hope you have a drink on this fine Sunday. Okay. So, venting away. This was a big learning experience for me, guys. So I like to think that I'm like the super chill, all-inclusive, like really tolerant. I don't even know how to describe how I view myself, but yeah, just like a world traveler, which I'm not. I should know better, because the last time I traveled internationally, like other than Canada, which I can just drive up to when the borders open. The last time I traveled internationally was when I was 16 years old. I went to Honduras with my mother, who's a dentist, and we went on a medical mission. And so we had like huge backpacking packs full of dental supplies. I wore scrubs the whole time. It was me speaking Spanish because I knew it better than her, and her pulling a bunch of teeth. That's basically what the trip was. And with a little bit of beauty and meeting locals and eating cool food. But that's the last time I've gone on an international trip like this. And so Cabo, I'm not going to compare that at all because it's very Americanized. But I just haven't. I haven't flown anywhere internationally since I was a teenager. So being the adult in charge this time, I mean, granted, my husband was there, but I coordinated the trip, and I tend to be the bossy pants in the family. So I was in charge of like coordinating everything, making sure that we had everything we needed, all of our paperwork. And of course, things are slightly different now with COVID. So some additional pressure, but I thought I knew what I was doing. So we get to SeaTac, SeaTac Airport. So that's the SeaTac Tacoma International Airport on Monday. And I think we have everything. We have our passports. I know that we have to fill out some sort of waiver to get into Mexico. You don't need a negative COVID test, but you do have to fill out a waiver saying that you haven't been exposed, that you don't have any symptoms, all that good stuff. So I'm like, okay, I've been to Hawaii. They have you fill out forms on the plane. They're going to give us forms on the plane. That's what I'm thinking. So we're sitting there. We've already gotten through security. That was all fine. We're sitting there, and I hear one of the Alaska employees announcing that there's some sort of medical form that we have to fill out before we land in Mexico. We have to do it online. So there's a QR code for them to scan, and it has to happen before we land. So I'm panicking. I'm like, shoot, I thought I was so prepared. I need to do this. Let's figure this out. So I start Googling. I find something on the Mexican government website. I'm like, all right, we're going to fill this out. So we're all like hurriedly trying to fill out this crazy form. It was way longer than it needed to be, and it was on a smartphone. So it took kind of a long time. We get the form filled out. There's no QR code. So I'm still sitting there anxious, like, okay, I don't know if I did what I need to do. They say when we get up to actually board the plane that there is information on how we get this form. Well, we're boarding the plane. I don't see it. Like, okay, maybe I filled out the right form. I have no idea. So I'm still nervous. We get on the plane, say maybe an hour in. So we're at altitude. People have been served drinks. They start passing out forms. Like, okay, well, this is kind of what I thought was going to happen, because that's usually how American Airlines handle things. They just give you the forms that you need while you're on the flight. So they hand us two forms. One is the declaration for customs, super simple. You fill out one per family. Totally comfortable with that. I did that. And then the other form I look at, and it's really similar to the one that we did online when we were at SeaTac, but easier. I was like, okay. So I apologized to Blake because we'd all filled out this online form, and clearly my original assumption about us getting the forms on the plane was correct. So, okay, good, awesome, cool. So relief. I relax. I order my Bloody Mary on the plane because I'm on vacation, and I just enjoy the flight. Well, as we start to descend into Cabo, another flight attendant announces, again, something I can't quite hear, but it's about a form that we have to have filled out before we land in Mexico, or it's going to hold us up in customs, and we have to have a QR code. I'm like, shit, I have no QR codes. Nothing I filled out has a QR code. The things I did online didn't have a QR code. I don't know what I'm doing. So Mama Bear starts panicking because I don't want my family to be held up. So I start Googling really quick what this health form is. I find something that I think is legit. I fill it out really quickly on my phone. Isabel fills it out really quickly. It asks for payment. And I'm like, that doesn't seem right. There shouldn't be payment. But I'm panicking because people are starting to like offload the plane. So I just quickly put in so stupid. I put in my debit card information. I do it for me. I do it for Isabel. The boys haven't done it yet, but we figure we'll just get off the plane and finish it for them. So I do it. And then immediately I'm like, this doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right at all. So I'm still nervous. We get off the plane. I'm talking to Blake about it, and I realize, holy shit, there's no way that I should have had to pay for this form. So I go to our bank account really quickly. It charged me $79 for my form and for Isabeau's form. So we're talking about $160 here. I've just spent $160 potentially in something that I don't really know if I need or not. So I'm shaking at this point because adrenaline's rushing. That's what happens to me. Anyone that knows me really well, like, it's not the greatest response, but I'm an anxious person when I'm not chill. So we get through customs. Blake is mad at me because he thinks I've spent $160 on something we don't need. Turns out he's right. I didn't need to do that. We got through customs just fine. Yeah. So, all right, we'll put that in the back burner. So the stupid form I filled out. And I'm going to pause and I'm going to read some comments. But we're going to stop with me getting through customs. I paid $160 on 2 forms that I don't need. All right. TV says, haha, Katie Bossy Pants. No, please don't call me that. Ahoy, groovy. Fuel Me One says, this sounds horrible. Yeah, I didn't handle it that well. Okay, I may sound like a very old person, but how did your phone have internet way up in the sky and you Googled things? Yeah, so we're on Alaska Airlines, and because I have T-Mobile, I can actually get Wi-Fi. So you don't have cellular service, but I did have Wi-Fi. Patrick says, hello, how are you? Late coming in. I am doing really, really good, although I'm feeling slightly re-traumatized telling the stupid mistakes I made, but it's good to see you. I'm going to take a sip. Okay. So we get through customs. There's this door that we're clearly going to like exit out into like the main entry where you don't have to have a boarding pass to go. And I did a lot of research before, and I heard that when you land in Cabo, you basically have to make a beeline straight for your transportation because there are tons and tons of people that are trying to sell you timeshares, trying to get you to take their cab, like all of these things. And I had booked our transportation through the hotel because that's the safest and smartest thing to do. So you don't end up with somebody trying to take you to a different resort that they have friends or family working at, or trying to sell you a timeshare. So, okay. I look at my family. We're ready. They have their AirPods in. Doesn't matter if they're listening to anything, we're booking it. So we book it out of there. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I mean, there were a ton of people trying to get us to take a ride with them, but you just no thank you. They're very polite. So no problems there. We get outside, blast of heat, like a wet oven. Not at all what I'm used to, like in Washington. And there's more people that are trying to give you rides. Well, that's fine. I already booked a private shuttle for my family. It was only like $25 more to do the private shuttle. So I figured, why not? So I'm thinking, I see people with signs with names. I'm thinking there's going to be something that says Catherine Prettyman, right? Scanning. I don't see anything. So we walk to the end. Blake walks back and forth a few times, making sure nobody has a sign. We can't see the name of the shuttle that we're actually looking for. We know the company name. So I'm like, all right, we're going to call the hotel concierge. Well, I call, and my stupid phone, for whatever reason, like keeps freezing, and I can't get through. So still shaking at this point. Like, Blake, I need you to call the hotel and find out about our private shuttle. So he tries calling. Blake got hung up on, I want to say 10 times. And finally, one of the other cab drivers that was just like milling around knew that we had booked a private shuttle. So he wasn't trying to get us to go with him. Finally said, like, go over, I think that's your company. And we're like, well, but we booked a private shuttle, and that was the public one where they stop at like multiple resorts, and we didn't want to do that. So we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. I'm finally like, let's go over to that spot and just stand there and see if they show up, and we can talk to the company and figure out what's going on. So we walk over there, and sure enough, right away, guy comes over. He's like, hey, are you with the shuttle company? We're like, yes, but we're waiting for the private shuttle. So he's looking through his directory. Doesn't see me. He says, were you supposed to come in earlier? And I was like, well, yeah, we were supposed to land like 30 minutes earlier. And he seemed kind of disgusted with me. And I'm thinking, dude, I didn't fly the plane. Like I told the company what my flight number was. You should know, like, it was delayed a little bit. Like, that's not my fault. So we're standing there. He asked me for my confirmation code. So I pull open my calendar on my phone because I put everything in there, and I put the confirmation code. So I'm showing him, and he looks at it. He says, is this all they sent you? I said, no, this isn't what they sent me. This is my calendar appointment that I made. That's the confirmation code. Doesn't understand. He asked me 3 more times, is this all they sent you? I said, no, this is my calendar appointment. That's the confirmation code, like hoping he's going to look up the confirmation code. Finally, I'm like, screw it. So I go to my email. I find the actual like receipt that I got from the hotel and show it to him. He's like, okay. So we get our shuttle. Awesome. 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 All right. We're finally going to get to our resort. Hyde says, girl, everyone gets fucked over at least once. Smart ones move on. Yeah. No, I'm chalking this whole all up to a learning experience, but I want to share it with the world because I think it's important. It's important for anyone that travels internationally to like understand that you're gonna screw up, you're gonna learn things. I just want to be honest about it because I thought I was like way more worldly than I was. Okay. Jimmy says, hey, Jimmy, can you ship a box for me to review tomorrow? Yes, please, please, please. I'm ready for fresh pods. Okay. So the shuttle ride, amazing. Nice, quiet driver. I like that. I mean, sometimes if you're really charming, I like to chat, but usually just want quiet. This ride, it was really important it was quiet because I'm still like, let's go back. I'm still stressing out about the $160 I spent that Blake is pissed off at me about. And he's not really pissed. He was irritated. But anyway, so I'm on my phone trying to figure out, like, did I sign up for a scam? Not even like looking at the beautiful scenery around me, which makes me so sad, but I did get to see it on the way back to the airport. So I'm furiously like scrolling through my phone, trying to figure out what's going on, thinking like, okay, I could call my bank, I could put a stop hold on this, but should I really? Because it's not like they stole my identity. It's just a scam. It's not fraudulent. It's just me being stupid, right? So I look through and finally I see that there's a refund policy, but they charge you $30 per application. So basically I would still lose out on $60, but I could get $100 back. So I email them. I'm like, this is clearly a scam. Shame on you. Like all of that stuff. Like, oh, somebody backfired. Just like harsh mama bear email because I'm embarrassed. I want my money back. Right away, they email me and they say that they can give me my $50 back, but they're going to charge me 29 USD. So cool. But I put that I want Isabel's back too. We'll come back to that. So I'm going to get my $50 back, but it's going to take like 5 days. Like, all right. This is okay. We get to the resort. Absolutely gorgeous. Fountains, beautiful like stucco. Everything's orange and cream and just feels very beachy. Gorgeous. We get out of the shuttle. They take our temperature. They make us put on hand sanitizer. And then they actually made us go through this tunnel of sanitizer. I don't know if anybody has gone through this, but it was an actual tunnel, almost like a clean lab, but they were spraying us with sanitizer. It was very strange. They never made us do that again as we went in and out of the resort, but right when we showed up, they did. So I almost think it was for show. Odd. But we did that. So we get through the sanitizer. And this lovely, lovely man, Jose, greets us. Super, super lovely smile, charming, says, we've been waiting for you. Let's get your bags. Don't worry about those. So he has the bellhop get our bags. He's asking us what drinks we would like. He's like, I'm going to get you drinks. You go check in, come back. We'll chat. Like, all right, this is amazing. It's like something out of a movie. All right, Jimmy's going to send me peppers. You just stopped in for a minute. Have a good night. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks a lot. So, like, this is great. I have a margarita waiting for me. I'm going to go check in. We go to the front desk and everything seems okay. The woman asked for my credit card. That's pretty normal. They have to put the deposit on there, right? And then she says, I also have to charge you $1,600 for the second room because I had booked 2 rooms. So, like, one for me and Blake and one for the kids. I said, no. I already paid for 2 rooms. I booked everything through Expedia. And she laughed at me. She actually laughed at me. She's like, oh, you might think you paid, but Expedia hasn't paid us yet. So you still have to pay for the second room. And I'm thinking, like, no, I've used Expedia, like, I don't know, probably 50, 60 times in my adulthood. And I always book my hotel room, car, whatever I'm doing, and they pay for everything. I've already paid for everything, right? So I'm still reeling from like all the other mistakes I've made up to this point, feeling a little bit vulnerable, questioning like my sanity. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Expedia didn't pay for the resort. I don't know what to do. Thankfully, Blake was there and he's still angry at me about my previous tourist mistakes. And so he actually stepped in at this point because I didn't have the strength to do it. And so he battled with her. But she was very insistent. She's like, no, we have to charge you the $1,600 for the second room. And then if you can verify that you already paid for it and show us, we'll pay you back. But we're pretty sure you're wrong. Like, she said that several times. So I start scrolling through Expedia, trying to find the exact receipt for what I purchased. And Blake's looking through our bank account for the money they actually took out. So we were able to show it to her. She apologized and gave us our money back. But yeah, they tried to book us for one of our rooms a second time. So that's the third kind of icky thing that's happened so far since we landed, and it's just Monday. Okay, so we have that sorted out. We have our room. They give us our wristbands because we got all inclusive. Cool. So we walk. Oh, hit the microphone. So I'm getting very excited. So we walk back out to like the main lobby area, and Jose is there with our drinks. Amazing. Jose is so lovely. We sit down and Jose starts talking really rapidly about like all the things that are included in our all inclusive. You can get this for free and this for free. And these are all the restaurants and these are all the things. People might say that they're charging you for this, but it's all free. It's all free for you. Yeah. Sounds really, really great. Starts talking about their sister resort, which I knew about because my employee stayed at the same resort. And she had told me that you could pay $5 for the shuttle to go over there and you can swim in all their pools and eat at all their restaurants too. It's all included. So very cool. It makes sense to me. He's like, all right, it's our anniversary for this new resort. We want to invite you to a welcome breakfast tomorrow. We're like, cool. Awesome. Sign us up. So he signs us up. We're supposed to go to that tomorrow at 8:30, which I wasn't very excited about because I didn't want to get up and like do things right away on my first day of vacation. But fine, whatever. I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired. He's very charming. Then he starts going through all these activities we can do, which I did want to do some activities with my family. So he's going through them all. This one sounds really great. It's like a day sailing trip. You go snorkeling. There's food included. Sounds awesome. He's like, I can give this to you for 60% off. Like, that's awesome. Let's do it. Let's do it. Sounds great. He keeps talking. He keeps talking. And I'm thinking, something's not right about this. At first, I thought it was just like general hotel hospitality. But I'm like, it feels like he is trying to sell us something. So we get through it all. We've agreed to go to the welcome breakfast the next morning. He's going to sign us up for the sailing trip that I want to pay for with the 60% off and then a free glass bottom boat tour. Cool. So we go back to our hotel room. Taking a moment to breathe again. I don't feel quite right about the interaction we had. It was like a whirlwind. I'm not sure what's happening. So, and my employee that went to this resort didn't have the same experience. She didn't share this with me. So I'm wondering, like, why are they giving this to us for free? Because nothing is for free, right? We all know this. So I start scrolling through reviews of the resort. And I see two that mention this welcome breakfast. And I realize that Jose has signed us up for a timeshare presentation, which I had thought, because I was booking everything through my hotel and not doing it outside, that I was safe from. But apparently I was not. So Jose signed us up for a timeshare presentation that's 2 hours long, half-hour breakfast, 90-minute presentation. I'm reading through it. It sounds like it's a low-pressure sales pitch from the reviews, because I'm looking at what other people experience. Like, well, the kids could swim at the nice resort. We could have breakfast. I can deal with like a 90-minute sales pitch if it's low pressure. That's fine. Okay, well, 7:30 a.m. rolls around the next morning, and Blake and I are like, no, we don't want to do this. We're not feeling it. We're not doing it. Jose starts calling our hotel room. He calls our room. He calls the kids' room. He calls our room. He calls the kids' room. We're like, whatever. We know what's going on. We're going to ignore it. It's our vacation. We're just going to do what we want today. We'll talk to him later. So we ignore him. I think he even called Blake's cell phone, actually, which, yeah, super, super harassing. Again, nice guy trying to do his job, but it was a lot. So we go about our day. It's an awesome day. We have breakfast. We go to the pool. We're at lunch. I'm in my swimsuit at the restaurant by the pool. Jose walks up to us. I'm like, okay, well, I did want to book the sailing. I want to apologize for the breakfast. Fine. So I'm like, hey, Jose, sorry about this morning. We decided to sleep in. We're on vacation. I still want to book sailing with you. He says, awesome. I totally understand. I'm going to go back. I'm going to book the sailing for you. You come see me tomorrow and we'll get that set up. Perfect. Okay. I think things are great. Roll around to next morning. We start getting calls again. Like, what the hell is going on? I didn't tell Jose I was going to go to this breakfast. Why is he harassing me about this breakfast? I don't want to go to the timeshare breakfast. So he's calling at like 8, 8:30, 9. Finally, like 9:45 a.m., somebody's knocking on the kids' room door because we have adjacent rooms, so I can hear it. So I go and answer their door, and it's Jose, and he's like sweating, like very anxious. He's like, I want to get you that discount. It's going to be like $400 for you to go sailing. If you don't come to this breakfast, like right now, I have the shuttle waiting for you. You have to go. I'm thinking I want to go sailing. I want to go sailing, and I like Jose, and fine. We're going to do the timeshare thing. Fine. Jesus Christ. Okay. Excuse my language. So I go to the balcony. I'm like, Blake, Jose's here. He wants us to go to the breakfast. If we want the discount for sailing, do you want to go? Blake's like, fine, let's do it. So Bishop decides to stay. Isabeau goes with us. And I'm going to take a moment to pause. So Blake and Isabeau and I are going to go to the welcome breakfast, which is a timeshare breakfast. Hey, CRL, how are you doing? Hi 12 says unplug the phone. Yeah, well, we muted the phones, but like I just got to, we ended up knocking on our door. Tuna's here. Okay. So we go downstairs And right up until now, Jose has not said that this is a timeshare breakfast. He's still insistent that this is an anniversary celebration and a chance for us to see this new resort. And it's going to be so lovely, right? So Isabeau comes with us because she wants to swim in the infinity pool there. We have a pool bag for her and everything. I've heard other families have been able to do this. I'm like, fine, I'll sit through the presentation. She can have fun. So we're waiting for the shuttle, and another woman comes up to us and she's like, okay, this is what you signed up for. Just so you know, you've signed up for a 30-minute breakfast and a 90-minute sales presentation. I'm like, wow, refreshing. Thank you for finally being honest. Like, fine. Yes, we'll do it. So we take the shuttle to this resort. It's a beautiful drive, had a lovely driver, made sure to tip him well. This resort is awesome, guys. Like, awesome. It's right by one of Oprah Winfrey's houses. It overlooks both the Pacific Ocean and the Sea of Cortez. It's gorgeous. I would love if I could afford to stay there. That's just not my lifestyle. And we knew this going into it. That's why Blake agreed to it. He's like, honestly, like, what are they going to do? You can't squeeze blood from a turnip, right? Like, we don't have the money. So they can sell us all they want, but like, we don't have money to give them. So it's kind of laughable. So we went into it with that mindset. All right. So they check us in with this woman, Kareem. She tells us again, it's a sales presentation. She takes down all of our information. She assigns us to this woman, Maria. Absolutely lovely young woman. And I will say, Maria was 100% professional the whole time, super polite, wasn't like a pushy salesperson. She left that to everybody else she worked with. So it was cool. Like, I got to see these amazing, like, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom apartments or condos, I guess, essentially, that you can get timeshares for. And they're gorgeous. Like, they're pre-decorated. One of them had a jacuzzi like right off of the master bedroom, which opened up onto the ocean. And it was on a cliff. So the jacuzzi pool was actually an infinity jacuzzi that was overlooking the ocean. Absolutely gorgeous. In fact, if you follow me on Instagram, the picture I took where I said, you don't want to know how I got here, it wasn't that I went hiking. It's that I went to the timeshare presentation. So that was actually from the condo that I like the best. So we walk around, absolutely beautiful place. I would love to live there, but I know I can't afford it. So then we're done. We're done with breakfast. She takes us back to like the sales hut. This is where it's serious. And at the beginning, she had us meet with her boss a little bit, and he kind of was hustling us and telling us we need to let our guard down more. Which I'm like, seriously, dude, because we were really honest. We said how much we pay on traveling a year, which isn't much. We mentioned that we usually go camping or on road trips. He's like, well, if that's the attitude you're going to have, you're not going to get much out of this. That's what he said. I'm thinking, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have the budget, but okay. So we come back to the hut, and I fully anticipate that I'm going to have to meet with this guy again. I'm like, ugh. And I'm prepared because I have 2 parents from New Jersey. I'm prepared to be like, dude, being a jerk or being pushy with me is not going to make me open up my wallet. Like, that's not the way to get money out of me. So just chillax. So we're in the sales hut, and they served me a mojito, which I will say is probably the strongest drink I had on my whole trip. So I don't know what they put in the mojito, but they were definitely trying to like lubricate me. So Maria goes through like the whole financial thing. They have another sales guy come over and go through like the price. And ultimately it's going to be like upfront $45,000. $45,000. Yeah, funny. Like, yeah, I don't have that money. Thank you. So then you say no. They start breaking it down. Well, if you do this and you like, it's a 4-week plan and you rent out 2 weeks to people, we can give you this price and this price. It's boring. Some of you have probably been through this, so I won't go into it too much. But the funny part to me is they had like another kind of like pushy sales guy come over, and he's like, okay, here's what we can do. Bottom line, You do this, you like rent like all of your weeks, you don't get to use them for like 5 years, you pay $6,000, and then we give you Barclay. And I looked at him, I said, "What's Barclay?" He goes, "Oh, it's a credit card that we have on house that we can get for you." And I laughed in his face. I was like, "You think I want another credit card?" So his response to that was like, "Well, geez, if you don't want free money." And I didn't even say anything, guys, but I'm thinking in my head, like, I cannot take financial advice from you, sir. Credit cards are not free money. Any adult with any sort of level of logic or semblance of responsibility knows that a credit card is not free money. No, thank you. So we say no. And Maria looks really crestfallen. I feel kind of bad for her. She's a sweet woman. And they release us. They're like, "Okay, here's your pass. We're gonna call a shuttle and take you back to your hotel." And I'm like, "Okay, I think we got out of this. Like, I kind of won." And I knew it was too easy. So we go to get the shuttle, and they have an attendant take us up another series of stairs. And like, this isn't right. We shouldn't be waiting upstairs for the shuttle, and sit us down in like another seated area. And I'm like, okay, this is boss level number 2. So we're waiting. And sure enough, another gentleman comes with a form. He's like, "I just need to take a survey on your experience. I just have 3 simple questions for you." Well, no, it wasn't 3 simple questions. He went through those, and then he tried breaking it down even further where I could pay even less for this timeshare, but it was even less valuable to me, less useful to me, like just garbage. Like, they're just trying to get money out of you at this point. And I told him, I was like, "I don't have the money. I can't give it to you." And so I said it over and over again. Finally, we got out of that. Then they take us to the building where we're going to get our prizes. So this discount that let's go back to that Jose had sold me on from the very beginning for my 60% off on my snorkeling, the sailing snorkeling adventure. I'm like, "All right, we're going to go do this." So we go back to this building. It's Kareem again. She's there. Like, "Oh, wow, you're everywhere, Kareem." Okay. So she starts processing it, and I had to question her several times about the price because I had the certificate from Jose saying we were getting 60% off, and she was trying to charge us more. So I had to fight that. She tried to charge me $7 per person for the glass bottom boat. And I was like, "No, no, no. You need to call Jose because he said it was free." So at this point, like, I'm like, this is a game. Like, this is just what Cabo's going to be. I'm just going to fight for everything the whole week. Fine. So I'm pushing back. Kareem gets us our discount on the sailing trip. Cool. We have the voucher for that. We have it scheduled. I'm excited. That's going to be cool. And then we sit there for like 15 minutes because she can't figure out how to register us for the glass bottom boat. So finally she says, "I'll call the hotel and I'll get the coupon for you for tomorrow." And I'm thinking in the back of my head, like, yeah, I'm never going to get to go in this glass bottom boat. It's just not happening. Fine. But I get the voucher for the sailing. We pay for it. It's all good. Like, okay, we're done. No. So we go out, start walking towards the hotel lobby so we can get our shuttle. And a woman approaches us and says, "Let me help you." No, please no. Please don't help me. I can walk there. And she pulls us aside and pulls out a binder of all these pictures of the hotel that she works for, tells us she can get us a day pass to the beach with these private cabanas. We can get lunch, like all these free things. And I'm like, no. Nothing is free. How do I get out of this? Please stop talking. So finally, I just tell her, I'm like, "Listen, we have finite time. We're going sailing. We're going on a glass bottom boat. I don't have time for the beach. Done." And it just like, she crumbles. And that's how we got out of there. Okay, I'm going to take a pause. I see comments. Tuna says, "How come you went to this in the first place?" Okay, so that's a good question, Tuna. This is something I didn't realize. I always thought that the only way you got suckered into these timeshare presentations was if you signed up for one of those like free, like complimentary stays at a resort, or you got like some sort of crazy discount, and then you kind of know going in that you're going to get suckered into this. I legit booked this resort, our flights, like everything, like months in advance, like full on paid for this. Like there's no reason that I should have been suckered into this. It's just kind of part of the culture, but I'll keep talking about that. And one of my drivers later on actually said that those timeshare people in Cabo are like the mafia. So that's why it is the way it is. Excuse the language, but fuck them, holiday from hell. It started that way. It got better, Hyde. It got better. Yeah, Chili Dean, $45,000. Yeah, I don't have that money. That's hilarious to me. I don't even have that on a credit card to pay. That, yeah, no. Oh, Kent's here. Hi, Kent. Yes, timeshares are sticky. Well, I don't want a timeshare at all, Kent. Like everyone, the reason I would never sign up for one of those is because everyone I know that has ever purchased a timeshare regrets it. So if anybody's thinking about it, I don't know anyone that's like happy about their timeshare. Phil says we go on cruises, never had anything like this. Yeah, I've been on a cruise as well. Never experienced that. CRL says I thrive in those situations. So yeah, so going back a bit, talking about how like insecure and nervous I was, like trying to just get the forms filled out that we needed to fill, like getting into Mexico. I feel like my strength kept building up throughout the trip to the point that like when I got to this timeshare presentation, I was just like, no, just not having it at all. So it actually worked out really well. Okay. So where do we go from there? So we leave this beautiful resort that I would love to be able to stay at, but never will. And we go back to Marina Fiesta, and I'm kind of pissed at Jose. And I'm thinking, like, wait a second. I've looked at activities that I can book through our resort. And I think we can go snorkeling for $7.99 or $79 a person through the resort. And that's what they just charged me with the discount at this place. And I just start spiraling again, just like super upset. And I'm doing research. Like, yeah, I think I might have gotten fucked over again. And I'm totally ready to like confront Jose and just like rip him a new one. So upset that he did this because he was so gracious and made us feel so good, and he tricked us, right? Like we were scammed. So we have a good rest of our day. We have a lovely dinner. I get up in the morning, and you have to, at this resort, you have to book your dinner reservations through the concierge or you can't get in for dinner. So first thing in the morning, like, all right, Blake, we're going to go down. I want you to go to the concierge, book our reservations. I'm going to go talk to Jose. I'm ready to fight. We go down to the lobby. Jose's not there. Like, perfect. This is perfect. He planned this out. He knew when we were going to leave. I'm never going to see him again. He just showed up at the beginning of our trip. They're going to rotate out the staff. Awesome. But I remembered that the one desk is his supervisor, and she is sitting there. I'm like, all right, I'm going to talk to her. So I sit down and I pull up my phone. I'm like, look, I can go on the same trip for $79. Jose told me that I was getting 60% off. Why is this the same price? All right. Little bit of humble pie. Turns out it's a different company. The company that Jose got us the discount with actually was a better company. And it was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever been on. So that's where the trip got better. So we went sailing that day, and it was phenomenal. It was a 4-hour trip, open bar. They served us 2 meals. We went snorkeling. There was sailing on part of it. There was a professional photographer on board. It was superb. Yeah, Yeah, it was great. And then the glass bottom boat thing that I was super worried about that Cream wasn't going to get me the coupon on. The next morning, they actually called us again in the morning, which is annoying. But the hotel called us again in the morning the next day and told us to be ready by 9:30 because they had our glass bottom boat booked. So it all worked out. So in the long run, it was an amazing trip. It was beautiful. I sweated a lot. I ate and drank a lot. It was super fun. Um, but even beyond that, just like walking along the marina in Cabo, like everybody's trying to sell you something. So that's just my advice to you. If you ever go to Cabo, just know that like nothing is for free, which we should all know to begin with, and everyone is trying to sell you something. So as long as you know that, I think you'll be fine. See here else is like the mob till they meet the actual mob. Yeah, true. Tom says they're like the Bahamas. As soon as you get off the boat, they're trying to sell you stuff. Everything was $20. Yeah, that's the other thing. I have never tipped so much in my life. That was hilarious to me. So I knew that I was going to be tipping for things a lot. So I brought a bunch of singles. It was like I was getting ready to go to a strip club. So I was ready for that. Excuse me. But when we got our COVID testing done at the hotel, before we came back to the US, they have like a doctor and a nurse, or maybe she's a nurse assistant downstairs. We went down there to do that. And even the nurse had a tip jar. It just like blew my mind. So much tipping. Tom says I did that in the Bahamas. My girlfriend and I went for a carriage ride. It's supposed to be $40, but they didn't tell me till I got there $45 per person. Yeah, there's all sorts of hidden costs. They want the good old American dollar. Yeah, and I brought lots of it. I mean, I felt like if I can afford to take my family on vacation, which like I said, this was our first big family vacation, like I wanted to bring money. I wanted to tip people and spread cash. I just didn't realize how intense it was going to be. Chili Dean says, I don't think my anxiety would do well in that environment. Yeah, it was a rough, like, first 2 days for me. And then the last 5 days were amazing. Johan, great story. Thank you. Sorry, I get really animated. I hope it makes sense. Kent says, sounds like Cabo is just like the cruise lines, fork it over, fork it over. Yeah, but more so. More so, Kent, because a lot of times on cruise lines, you don't have to tip for certain things. So bar the holiday, is everything okay? Yes. Things are good, High 12. Things are good. In fact, I got home late last night, but we checked the mail this morning, and I have these, the hot dang bites. So I think Nuff suggested that Isabeau try these as her next challenge because they're really delicious and they're not too killer. And I was worried because Roger has been selling out of them. But I did message Roger, and he right away sent us some. I mean, I paid for them, but yeah. Food Taster is from Calgary, Canada. Oh, nice. I love Canada. Excellent, excellent. All right, we need more. Have a drink here. Yeah, so barring all of the missteps that happened in the beginning, the pool was amazing. The all-inclusive was legit. So the hotel we stayed at had 5 different restaurants that we could eat at. One was like the poolside restaurant, which was mostly like American food, sometimes a buffet. There was a Mexican restaurant, which was delicious, a seafood company, an Italian place, and a sports bar. Yeah. And then, of course, drinks were all inclusive, like I mentioned, and they refilled our mini bar every day, and that was all included as well. Food taster, what parts of Canada have I been to? Not too many. I have been to Vancouver, BC, because it's within driving distance. I've been to Toronto, and I've been to the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. And I've driven through some strange parts of Canada, just like on road trips, but I don't know if that counts. And I can't really remember. Kent says, was it all you can eat? Yeah, so for the restaurants, Kent, the poolside restaurant, like I mentioned, usually had a buffet, which would be all you can eat. The sit down restaurants, you only had to make reservations for dinner. For breakfast and lunch, you could just show up, and each person, because we all had the all inclusive wristbands, we could each get an appetizer, entree, and dessert at each meal, and the drinks were unlimited. Hide. I've been getting into my curry good stuff. Yum. I love curry. What's your favorite kind of curry? Have I been to Alberta? Let me just see. That might be a place I've driven through, but I have to look at the geography. I know when I was a kid, I wrote to the government in Alberta because I was writing a research paper, and that's before the internet was a thing. I don't think I have actually. I've been. Yeah, I've been through Ontario, Manitoba. Yeah, I think we went down Manitoba into South Dakota one time, but I don't think I've been to Alberta. I'll have to check that out sometime. Um, Johan says, what was the best food you had there? Ooh, good question. That's tough. Honestly, so silly, but I think one of my favorite meals I had was at the Mexican restaurant for lunch. I just wanted something small because I wasn't very hungry. And so they had a chili relleno, which is just a cheese stuffed chili that's breaded and fried for those of you that haven't had it. And it said it was just one. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. I'm not kidding you guys. I don't know where they found this poblano chili, but it was like that big. I don't know if that's a good size scale, but it was ginormous. It was the size of like two normal chili rellenos, but it was amazing. And the sauce that they smothered all over it. Mwah. Kent says the cruise ship took you to Victoria. Yeah, yeah. We did that Alaskan cruise too, Kent, and we stopped off in Victoria. But Blake and I, it was like late at night on our cruise. It was kind of weird how they scheduled it. So we actually didn't get off board. Hyde says, tikka masala, you're not a pro. I love tikka masala. It's good. My favorite thing to make is buttered chicken. Food Taster says, if you are into winter sports, Alberta is perfect. Oh, cool. What's your favorite winter sport? I always joke that I would like to get into cruising because I feel like that would be my only chance at getting into the Olympics at this point in my life. But maybe I could get really good at that because it seems like an all ages sport, right? Let's see. Hyde says, Katie, you're from North Ireland. You should Google soda and potato bread. Oh, yes, I've had that. It's very, very good. And Food Taster is not into any winter sports. Gotcha. But you live up there. Okay. Did you grow up there or did you move there? Mm-hmm. Kent, yes, that's true. Yeah, I think we took Princess as well. It was only 4 hours in the Port of Victoria, so it wasn't really worth getting off because I've been there before. So, and I think at the time, Blake and I didn't even have our passports. I think we just used our birth certificates and like went to the Alaskan ports. All right, guys. Well, that was a very long story. I can't believe I took up like almost the whole hour telling it. But I did promise Blake that we're going to watch a movie and fold laundry. So thank you for joining me. One last thing. Food Taster says, I'm Iranian Persian. You moved to Canada in 96 when you were 13. Oh, wow. That is a big difference, sir. Or ma'am. I actually don't know your gender. I don't know why I'm assuming. All right, guys. Well, I hope that you will tune in this week. I think we'll have some reviews, hopefully something posted Wednesday. And then next Saturday, so that's September the 4th, Isabel and I are going to do these hot dang bites. And Food Taster is a guy. All right, I got it. With that, I am Kitty Prettyman, the world's okayest competitive eater, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.